Ready, ready. Last one.
myself.
Are you sinking? Are you swimming? Or are you the captain of your life? Welcome back to another episode of Sink, Swim, or Be the Captain. Today on Sink, Swim, or Be the Captain, I'm very happy to be sitting with
Melissa and Price, Jody.
Yes, Jody from Jody's Public Diary.
Yes.
She's here today to help me assist you to become the captain of your life. Today we're talking about how to say no professionally. And you'll be like, Elvy, but just a few weeks ago you told me how to say yes. Because yes, when you're starting out, you need to say yes. So when you say yes, showcase the talent. If you want to remember what else saying yes do for you, you can check out that video, how to say yes. But today, I'm teaching you how to say no, but not just no, but nah, do it. No, professionally, respectfully, and it's fitting that you are here.
How so?
Because there's something that I like about you, that you know how to say no gracefully. I don't know if you have other areas, because sometimes you're good at saying no here, but you can't say no there. So I know areas where you are good at saying no.
Okay.
So I'm happy to have you here today to tell me and my audience how to say no respectfully.
All right, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
All right,
When and why would I need to say no?
All right, when and why would you need to say no? In a sense, it ties into self-awareness.
Right.
Because in answering the question of when, you must know for yourself what situations you are comfortable with.
Right.
You must know your personal boundaries, because knowing you know what makes you uncomfortable. You know what your capabilities are. What can I do? What am I not able to do? So when a person asks you to do a particular task, self-awareness and values, your value system as well, will chip in to say, okay, Elvy, is this something that's, I know myself able to do? Is this crossing a line?
Mm-hmm. So self-awareness, boundaries, capabilities, and I would also like to add your other commitments.
Yes.
Because you would have already been pledged or promised your services elsewhere. So you can't say, I read a quote once somewhere. It really hit me, because I took it personally, because I was doing that. The quote said, an overcommitted man is unreliable.
Right, because something is going to be left out, and it just might be you who gets cut off that list of priorities.
And overly committed man is unreliable, and it did really limit, because I found myself having two things on a day, two things on a time, and I don't like to disappoint people, right? So, but should I just go to my supervisor and say, no, I'm not do it outright?
No, of course not. There is
some alternatives.
Some alternative to say no. All right. So you can definitely express to the person who is asking the favor that it is something that you would love to assist them with. However, due to circumstances beyond your control, you're not able to do it at this time. However, if it is a project that can be delayed until further on, then I'm willing to give my assistance.
With that example, you would say, can I finish these tasks that I already have, and then I'll come around?
Yes, then I'll get back to you. Right. Or I'm presently engaged in this activity which is urgent, and I've given my prior commitment, and I'll be finished by this date. Could I start on what you're asking me to do immediately after?
Right.
And if it is a case where the person is able to wait until that time, then you can start their activity at that time.
Right. So give us, because while that can work in some situation, give us another way that we can say no.
To your supervisor?
Not necessarily supervisor. We're talking about, in our professional life, but we also need to say no to families and friends. You ever think about it? Sometimes your family really asks.
All right, so
something.
To make it easier, maybe if we have specific scenarios, because like I said initially, I think Say no because you do not want to just be a no person, a
Right.
disagreeable person. You don't want to come off to people as very disagreeable. Where every time a person comes to you,
you're gonna
your
tell
first
them
answer
no.
is going to be no. There must be a time when you're going to actually say yes. So it ties into the factors which we already listed: your values, your boundaries, the commitments which you would have already had, your capabilities.
Right. So I've already taught them how to say yes,
right,
and why they should say yes. But as we have been we have been in the workforce for quite a amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
We have experienced burnout.
Right.
We have experienced being overcommitted. We have experienced being people are over ask you to do things, and we even experience several persons asking you to do different things. So yes, so no, this series, this episode, we're just focusing on saying no.
Okay, so the specific situation that we're zooming in on then is the professional environment. You're at work, you have your to-do list, right? Your list of tasks that you're working on, and of course that list of deadlines, those activities on the list have deadlines. So how do you say no to a co-worker coming up to you to say, we're having a staff social on Friday? You know that you have a deadline by Friday afternoon at X time, and you're not halfway through it. And you think to yourself that, okay, if I don't go to this social, they're gonna think I'm selfish, they're gonna think I'm standoffish, I can't go. But at the same time, if you do not submit your work on time, you're gonna come off as being unprofessional or being tardy or unrealistic. So that boils down. How do you say no in that situation? You have to assess and you have to determine what is your priority.
I like this. Finish. I like this one. Unfortunately, no, it's not a good time. That because the scenario you just described, I've been in it too many times because I'm a social butterfly, and
trying to decide.
Yeah,
okay.
But I think. Unfortunately, no is not a good time. It's a good no for that scenario because you really have your commitment to your job, and social really is, even though it's a priority because you have to build rapport and stuff, it's not the number one priority.
Right? So prioritizing very important.
So you'd say, unfortunately, no, it's not a good time, or you'd say, thank you for the invite, but I'll come on the next one.
Or maybe you can send me a Zoom link. I'd like to watch and show my support.
Modernize,
so I'll be there virtually, and I can be watching you while I'm working on this particular activity, which I must complete by the end of Friday. So it's a give and take. So you're giving support, but you're still not putting yourself out.
Because they can log into the Zoom link.
So can you set up a Zoom platform? I'll be there watching, so I'll be there extending my support. Or is there something that I can contribute? Because what if it's a party, they're gonna need cake, they're gonna need music. Can I organize the music for you and give you that to play? Since I'm not gonna be able to
can I donate the cake?
Can I donate the cake? Can I set up the music for you? Do you need me to make contact with a particular person for you? You need to be there. So you're supporting, so you're still supporting, but it's just that you're not gonna be there physically. So you explain that, miss, I would love to be there, but I'm not able to due to this circumstance. You do not always have to give a reason. I don't believe you must always. I don't think you must always give a reason.
I don't think you should give a reason unless it's somebody that is in authority of you. Right. It's a superior. I think you should give your superior like a reason. A reason, yes. But regular,
no. Right. But I give you supporting. So the person is not left high and dry. You give them support in other ways.
Right. I like this one that says no thank you. No thank you, but it sounds lovely, but next time.
I've listened to some audios and I've read some books about the thank you at the end. Because what are you thankful for, really?
For considering me.
Well, say thank you for considering me for this thing, but no thank you, but no thank you, no thank you.
No, I'm not issue with no thank you.
I personally don't have an issue with it, but based on things that I've read.
Would you want it to say thank you, but no? Would you want to flip it?
For me personally, I will. And let me just be honest. Maybe I can be considered guilty of even using it exactly as you are saying. But I was just referring to things that are where persons are against the concepts of saying no thank you, because they're saying like, what are you thankful for, really? So another way, if I should rephrase it, then I would say I appreciate you thinking of me and I would love to capitalize on it. Oh my gosh, but I've made prayer arrangements and I'm not able to. Oh my gosh.
I like the one that says I've used it before. I said Wonderful idea. Let me compliment the idea. Wonderful idea, but I am already working on a project, so unfortunately I cannot help you at this time. That's the best one I've ever used, and I had to say no because I was starting to work on my own thing, still doing my regular job. I could not have taken another project. I couldn't. You have to know, and you go back to what you said initially about knowing your personal limits. You have to know your personal limits.
And no is a word. It is an acceptable word.
It's a complete sentence.
And persons need to get comfortable with that. Persons need to reevaluate and get out of this idea to think that no is a form of rejection, or no is a bad word. It is not. It is a response.
The last thing I want to ask you now, and I think you being I don't want to out your counseling position but you being a counselor, I think you can help me with this. How do I deal with the guilt I feel after I tell somebody no? Do I feel guilt? No, it happens because
I know.
What if you're some persons who really set out to work to please their supervisor. They don't want the supervisor to find any fault with them at all. I'm not like that, but for those persons who after saying no, or they're just learning how to say no, how they deal with that guilt of saying no.
All right, so I am thinking that in a situation like that, there are some questions that you can that you may need to ask yourself. Can you control the reaction or the perception of other people, the perception that other people have of you? Of course, there are some things that you can do that shapes or which influences how people perceive you. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to the full stop, we really have no control of what another person will think of you at the end of the day. And secondly, to another question that you may want to ask yourself is the task that the supervisor was given to you. Do you have a legitimate reason for not being able to do it?
Right.
And as long as you're genuine and you're true, you know within yourself that you genuinely you were just not able to.
Even if I'm telling you no to take a rest, that is a legitimate reason.
It is because if you're tired, you can crash and burn.
I was about to crash. Like about 2-3 weeks ago, I was about to crash. I was at crashing point, and I had to tell myself no. I had to tell myself no. No, you did enough. You take a break.
Self-care is not selfish.
Right, and another thing, we're almost at the end of the show. But another thing, you don't want to work this hard, planting seeds, and then you're not here to reap the fruits.
Makes no sense.
So you have to say no. When you recognize the limits, say no. Say no for your health, your sanity, and also if you're just overwhelmed, no.
And sometimes if you're unable to do it and you push yourself, you do the work half-heartedly, and the quality, you get more quantity and less quality.
Right.
So if you're going into a project, you want to give the best of yourself. You want to give 100%. So you do not want to force yourself. Although sometimes a little push isn't necessary, but you must know when.
Right.
When you actually can do it.
So Jody, thank you for coming and sharing your insight on to say no. She is producing other content on her channel over there. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe now. She does travel vlogs. She does book reviews. Give her your love and support. If this is your first episode of Sing Swim Already Captain, don't say that I'm telling the people to say no. I already taught them how to say yes. You can check out that video in another link. I need to learn how to link the video, but I'll learn soon. Thank you for watching another episode of Sink, Swim, or Be the Captain. Bye. Bye. That was good. That was good.